She's here, she's there, she's every fucking where. Welcome to the podcast, Ash London.
My darlings.
God,
I love Sarah
guilty.
Paulson so much, and I love Diane Keaton so much. You know, these are real people who are mourning a real loss. If me, as a person living in Aotearoa, across the other side of the world who's never met this woman, is crying on my couch, imagine how her real friends feel.
Welcome along to the podcast. I have been sitting here waiting for you, and now you're here, we can get things started. This is your place to escape the shit show that is planet Earth. You get to come and hang out with me, Sharyn, your best friend, and we will go through all of the biggest moments in pop culture so that you don't have to doom scroll and you can just indulge in your little guilty pleasure of knowing what's happening in the world of celebrities. I always like to have a person of the week when it comes to pop culture, and the pop culture person of the week this week is an Uber driver. And he is an Uber driver that was driving Israel Adesanya on the weekend, and Izzy recorded the interaction that they had, and it is so freaking cute. But I also love that Israel Adesanya, he just went with it and wasn't a dick about it. He was awesome.
Wait, who do you think I was?
You know the famous New Zealand UFC fighter,
What's his name?
Adesanya.
No. Wrong guy. Sorry, bro.
Oh, sorry. Bro, fucking, are you serious?
Yeah, I get around.
Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Nah, nice to meet you, bro.
Bro. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, you're my favorite fighter.
Respect, bro. Thank you.
Fucking shit.
of all of the rappers to be compared to, Iggy Azalea is like, I don't know if I would be insulted by that or not. Like, I mean, she's had a couple of bangers, but Israel Adesanya, absolute legend. And he went on his Twitter /X, whatever the fuck it's called these days. And he went on there and, you know, was just like, wow, well, we're two of the greatest exports out of, you know, Australia and New Zealand. So I'll take it as a compliment. But that Uber driver, just 5 stars, give him a tip. He was fabulous. A Little Bit Extra is brought to you by Moody. If you haven't tried their pre and probiotic sodas, you need to get your hands on them. You can buy them on moodyblends.com, or if you're in New Zealand, you can get them from your local supermarket. These are an easy way to stay on top of your gut health, and your gut health is wealth, my friend. So these are scientifically formulated, they're high in fiber, they're low in sugar and calories, and there's no artificial sweeteners in them. There's a few different flavors you can choose from, but the pink lemonade is hands down my favorite. It's refreshing, it tastes nice, and you don't even realize that you are giving yourself a super good helping of pre and probiotics. So get your hands on them now, moodyblends.com. Welcome to the podcast, Ash London.
My darling. So your studio is so chic, and I'm in my
Thank
husband's
you, Queen.
echoey white office. I think I need to put a plant in here or something. It's like I'm in jail. I've actually gone to jail and not told you.
Haven't you? Well, this is like a big exclusive for the podcast. What was your crime?
Just being too sexy.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
They
That'll
said,
do it.
We can't have you in the general public. You gotta just get out of jail.
You got it. Yeah, I mean, I might have to join you there soon, my friend,
Yep.
because I've been getting some sexy problems myself.
I get it. I understand.
This is a sad day. Like yesterday we had the news come out that Diane Keaton had passed away. And then I saw your story about it on your Hopeless Romantics Instagram page. And you were devastated about this news. What is it about Diane Keaton that you just loved so much?
I've been thinking so hard about this because I'm trying to quantify it, because I was so surprised at my own reaction. I don't think I've ever cried over a celebrity dying, but I got the news and it was like my friend had died, and I was thinking about it. And I think for me, it's the movies that she brought us. So we've got First Wives Club, which for me is just everything. Something's Got to Give. In that movie, I think that film is like the essence of Diane Keaton, that flighty, flittery, clever, sexy turtleneck sweaters, beige. That's the vibe. Beach house. That an incredible film. And then, of course, The Family Stone, which I don't think I can ever watch again, given the ending now. She was
Forgot
just
about it.
right. It's going to be a tough watch at Christmas. I think I'll be skipping it this Christmas. But I think she just was her own woman, and she did things in a way that was true to her, with all the sexy Hollywood ladies, back in the 70s and 80s even. She just was cool as shit.
It's amazing because I've been seeing all of these photos coming back, and I knew that she always wore like her cool hat, but it's made me want to get a hat now, like it's like
It's
a bowler
too late
top
now.
hat.
It's too
I
late.
know.
We've missed the boat as to having our thing. She had the button-ups, the vests, and the hat. And now at pushing 40, we can't decide to have a thing. We've missed it. It's done.
I refuse. I need to think. It's because what I was trying to think of is like she's got her hat, and I was thinking I might get into berets. I've been thinking this for a couple of years ago that I'd start just wearing like cool berets. I don't know if I'd pull it off now that I'm approaching 40.
Well, it's all about the attitude, babe. So if you acted like you looked cool as shit, I would support you, and I'd be like, yeah, have you seen Shaz's beret? She looks sick. And if enough people say that, then people just believe that you look cool as shit. But she had her thing, and I can't think of another example of an actor or actress that's got such a specific association with the way they dress, and not in like a sexy way, but in like a cool way.
Yeah, it's amazing too, like the reaction, the amount of messages that I've had from people, like when I put it on Instagram that she'd passed away, and people were like you, genuinely upset about it. And I was trying to put my finger on it. I was like, what is it that was so special about her? And she kind of she seemed like somebody in that industry who was actually a kind person.
Absolutely. And like your cool, slightly batty auntie who would like
Yes.
make you her, like special cocktail recipe when you came over for Christmas. And I think also she was quite private. So we only knew her through her films, and she didn't really have a stinker. So you think of Diane Keaton, you don't think of, even though she had relationships with Al Pacino, with Woody Allen, we don't associate her with famous boyfriends or scandals or whatever. We just associate her with these movie roles that for people in our age are seminal. I mean, Father of the Bride, come on.
Oh
for
my
many of
God.
us, I think it was the first rom-com that we would have seen as kids.
Yeah, it would have been. I was trying to think about that, and it would have definitely been Father of the Bride, Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yes.
maybe Grease to an
The
extent.
golden age.
It was just incredible. But that was the thing. I always thought that she'd been married for a long time, and just reading more and more about her and interviews where she said that she was never going to get married and she adopted like 2 children and things like that. She's just such a badass. And I guess I never realized how much of a badass that she was. And
Totally.
a lot of quotes and stuff that she's done, and how many female, especially actresses, that have come out and just said how amazing and what a great support and how encouraging she was. It's kind of a celebrity death that, if you were a celebrity, these are the obituaries that you want, because every single one is just saying how kind and supportive she was.
Yeah, so that Reese Witherspoon audio that we all saw when she got on stage and told the story about Diane Keaton when Reese was 14, 15, straight out of Nashville, and auditioned for Diane Keaton, who pulled her aside and said, "Who are you? Like, you're incredible, you're hired," and was a mentor to her for kind of many years after. We don't hear about that happening in Hollywood, I don't think, between women. And even reading the obituaries from Goldie Hawn and Bette Midler, there's nothing standard or stock standard kind of they are full of heart, love, and adoration. So many people in Hollywood, especially because I think a lot of people didn't know she was sick, will be bereft. And I've cried reading Goldie Hawn's message to her. And I've been watching. I've just now my Instagram. My algo is just all Diane Keaton, and I've just been reveling in it, which is so much better than the corn and callus removals, which is what I have been getting lately, because my son has a wart on his foot, so it knows.
Oh my God. That's the thing. It's like, she's all in my timeline and I'm loving it. But then a couple of hours ago, we saw the pictures that paparazzi took of Sarah Paulson leaving her house just absolutely distraught. And you're like, leave them alone. Like, although It's like we were all watching this car crash of people grieving.
Yes.
It's horrific.
But then I look at the photo of Sarah Paulson and like zoom in on it like a fucking sicko because I'm like,
oh my God,
I love Sarah
guilty.
Paulson so much and I love Diane Keaton so much. You know, these are real people who are mourning a real loss. If me, as a person living in Aotearoa across the other side of the world who's never met this woman, is crying on my couch, imagine how her real friends feel.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh,
Yes.
well, Ash, thank you so much for joining us to grieve Diane Keaton on the podcast. We really appreciate you. And if you want more from Ash, as I was saying, she is New Zealand's Roy Kent. You can go and get her on The Edge Breakfast, More FM, and her podcast, Hopeless Romantics. I will sing the song again. She's here, she's there, she's every fucking where. That's you. You're Roy Kent.
I love Roy Kent. He's my favorite. By the way, he's got a new film out. Like I can't remember the name of it, but it looks unfucking believable, and I think we can now watch it.
I watched it last week.
Shut up.
And it is, I watched it last week, and it's on Apple TV, and it's like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Normal People in the like slowness, but it's got that comedy, but I don't want to give away anything, but you should watch it. But it will 100% make you even hornier for him.
Oh, of course.
Like,
I cried in
hands
the
down.
trailer for it. And even the trailer, I was like, God, I would love to show him a good time. Okay, I'm gonna watch it with all that spare time I've got, Shaz, and I'll report back to you.
Do that. Do it.
Love you, darling.
Thank you, Ash.
Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah,
Bye.
mwah. You're the best. See you, darling.
You are. Moving from one icon to another, Victoria Beckham, aka Posh Spice, has released her documentary on Netflix. And she is just, I feel like Victoria Beckham is so misunderstood. If you go and do a really, really big deep dive back to her first biography, I think she only had Brooklyn at this point. Go and read it. It's so funny. There's some great stories about the Spice Girls and how they ran away in the middle of the night from their managers and then went and danced on tables at record companies to try and get a record deal. There's a story about how she punched David Beckham in the face when she was pregnant with Brooklyn because he'd been photographed looking like he was having an affair with one of their friends. He wasn't having an affair that time. But there is a moment in this documentary where she talks about how Mel B said to her that she better not forget where she came from. This is something that happened recently and it really hurt Victoria's feelings.
One of the girls actually said to me, and it did upset me not too long ago actually, it was Melanie B who said to me, don't forget where you've come from. I have never forgotten where I come from. I've never ever forgotten that Posh Spice is the reason that I'm sitting here now.
Sometimes I read things about Mel B and I could never hate a Spice Girl, okay? Let's make that very clear. The Spice Girls are my gods. They are the people that led the charge of teaching me feminism. There is not a bad word that I will let anyone say about the Spice Girls in front of me. But I do think we need to start calling Mel B problematic Spice, because Mel B seems to be the Spice Girl that everybody has an issue with at some point. I mean, when she did her book, she pretty much confirmed that her and Jerry were hooking up while they were on tour and all that sort of stuff. Even though Jerry hardcore denied it, Mel's like, no, it happened. She also had some like weird moments over the years with Melanie C. I don't think she's ever had anything with Emma, but now this one, I feel like she's that friend in your group that everybody loves, but also knows that she will piss you off at some point and she's going to be a little bit cringe. But I really, really don't think that Victoria Beckham has ever forgotten where she came from with the Spice Girls. She's always been positive about it, and she's always been proud of the fact that that was a big part of who she is, and still to this day is proud of that. But I do also think it's okay for Victoria Beckham to want to build something new, like with her fashion and separating herself from the Spice Girls and having her own thing and just going for it. So I think this beef is a little bit stupid, and I can't wait to hear Mel B's response to it. But if this moment from the documentary affects a Spice Girls reunion, which is rumored to be happening in 2026, I am going to throw hands, because I need to see the Spice Girls before I die. If we can have Oasis back together, we can have all 5 Spice Girls back together. And if this is the thing that derails that, then I'm going to be so mad. But I'm calm and collected and cool, so don't worry, I won't lose my shit. I absolutely would lose my shit. Also, a moment that I would lose my shit over is when you get pointed out at a concert by the artist and it's for doing something that you shouldn't be doing. So they're trying to get everybody to clap. Like, yeah, let's clap, let's do this dance. And they can see that you're the one not joining in. And it could just be because you're shy or you don't know how to dance. Like, I didn't drink most of last year. And the biggest problem for me was going to concerts and dancing. I felt like I had like clown hands and I couldn't clap properly and I was really self-conscious. And so I just kind of went like this and didn't join in of doing like the dances and stuff. And it was intense. So maybe that's what the problem was. But Chapel Roan was going into Hot to Go and she always will, before it, teach people the Hot to Go dance. And there was one dad in the audience that just refused to take part. And Chapel Roan would usually call someone out for this quite harshly, but she went soft on him, which I actually think is cool. And I think it's also a sign that Chapel Roan is in a really great place.
Okay, ready? Watch me. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. You can take me hot to go. There's a dad in the crowd that's not doing it. There's a dad that's not doing it, but he looks really, really nice, so I'm not going to do anything about it. But usually I would stop and call you out and make you do it, but you look really nice, so I'm not going to do it.
This is actually has brought back a story to me of when it's so cringy. Okay, I was over in Sydney and we were doing the radio show for a week. It was Guy Williams, myself, Clint Roberts, and on the last night that we were going to be there, Kanye West was playing, and we loved Kanye West at that time. This is before he was extremely problematic. Also, I was very excited about seeing Kim Kardashian because she was in the crowd. And there's one moment where Kanye West is demanding for every single person to stand up. He's like, stand up at the back, stand up at the front, you're not standing up. And he spots these two people that are not standing up and he points them out and he goes, we're waiting for you. You need to stand up. Why the fuck are you not standing up? And then the crowds are like kind of waving at him like, oh, Kanye. And he's like, oh, you guys are in wheelchairs? You don't need to stand up. And he didn't realize the people not standing up were the people in the wheelchair section. And he's just yelling at them, telling them to stand up. It was horrific. It was kind of funny. The people were laughing. They were like, God, bruh, I would love to stand up if I could. But it was just the funniest moment of like, this is why you do not make people do things in the crowd that they don't want to do. Like if you throw it out there and they don't want to do it, throw it out there again. If there's still people not participating, let it breathe. Just move on with your show because you never know. There could be a reason. Maybe that dad had fake arms and so he just had like pretend arms and he couldn't actually do Hot to Go. You never know. You never know. But Chapel Roan handled it like an absolute boss. A lot better than Kanye West did. So good. Oh, God, that story always makes me feel so happy. If you haven't joined Uber One yet, then you are missing out. It's just $9.99 a month and you can match your Uber rides and your Uber Eats like an absolute pro. The best part is you get $0 delivery fees on eligible orders, which is perfect for those nights where you just do not feel like leaving the house, you do not feel like cooking. Plus, you get 5% credit on all of your rides, making every trip just feel that little bit more rewarding. And there's also a bunch of exclusive offers on there and experiences from Uber partners too. To top it off, you will score $10 Uber cash back until the end of the year, provided that you remain a member. So just sign up and become a member today. It ends December 31st. T's and C's, minimum spends and fees apply. One other thing that makes me very happy is Rebecca Ferguson. She is an actress from the movie June. She's in heaps of stuff. She's worked with a lot of different celebrities. And she went viral last year when she talked about a horrible actor that she worked with. Now, this has never been confirmed, but everybody believes the person that she's talking about is Ryan Reynolds. And this is what she said in 2024.
When do you think you've been proudest of using your own voice?
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star. And this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and comfortable that I got screamed at. And I would cry walking off set. This person would literally look at me in front of the whole crew and say, "You call yourself an actor, this is what I have to work with. What is this?" And I stood there just breaking. This happens. But because this person was number one on a call sheet, there was no safety net for me. So no one had my back. And I remember the next day I walked on and I said, "You get off my set." This is the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared. And I looked at this person and I said, "You can F off. I'm going to work towards a tennis ball. I never want to see you again." And then I remember the producers came up and said, "You can't do this to number one. We have to let this person be on set." And I said, "But the person can turn around and I can act to the back head."
Wow.
And I did. I was so scared. I feel it now when I'm
Yeah.
saying it. But from that moment, I have never let myself get to a point when I've got home and gone, why did that happen?
Scathing. That's my worst nightmare, for somebody to talk about me like that. And she's done another interview just over the weekend and she has doubled down on it. And she was just saying, "I will throw myself in front of it. I will throw anyone under the bus if they are being rude to the crew. That's just not how that you should behave," all of that sort of stuff. And she stands by what she says. And she's like, "I have to use my voice for that stuff." And she's so correct. And that what she did, especially as a woman in an industry like the movie industry, the music industry, media industry, to do that as a woman can sometimes be a really scary thing, and you don't know what the aftermath of it is going to be like. And I have definitely had moments in my career where I've had to decide how I'm going to deal with something, whether I just let it fly or whether I have to stand up and be accounted for. And I think earlier in my career, there's definitely moments where I wish that I had stood up more than I would do now. If something like that happened now, I would not even hesitate in going into fight for my colleague and just being like, "Hey, whoa, that's not okay. Like, you can't talk to people like that." And I've never told this story before. I'm a little bit worried about telling it. I'm not going to name names, and if you ask me, I'm not going to tell you who it was. But like, I remember my first experience of being like, you know what, fuck you. And it was earlier in my career, and I was like helping out on a show, doing like entertainment news and all that sort of stuff. And there was this like, I'd made a joke about the week before that I stand by now. It was really funny, and they didn't like it. I think they just wanted me to be dumb and like, oh, I don't know. But they didn't like the joke. And then, so from then on, it was just like icy, I would say. And I'd gone in to read my scandal, and one of them like bit an apple on the microphone while I was doing my scandal. And I'm like, in these days, I had to write my scandal, then I had to write it longer, and then I had to put it up on the website myself, resize all the photos, all that sort of stuff. It took me like 2 hours to do it. I had to come in early to do it, and then and I just lost it. And I remember the mics went off, and I was like, you know what? I spent so much time doing this. It is so disrespectful. You can get fucked. I'm not doing this anymore. And I like walked out, went down to my boss's office, and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore, blah, blah. And he was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was coming after the burn last week. It's like, I just knew something would happen. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I can't. And he was completely understanding. He's like, I get it. Don't worry. And then an hour later, I hear the scandal bed start playing. And then I'm very aware of the fact that my scandal is still sitting in there. And I can see them leaning over to grab it so they can use it. And I'm like, no, Sharyn, you go in there, you stand up for yourself again. So I'm like, okay, big girl pants on, charge on in, lean over the desk. I'll take that. You can write your own scandal. And then I turn around and I walked out, and I smoked at the time. I went down, had a holiday menthol cigarette and a panic attack to calm down. I was terrified because I had never stood up for myself in that way before. But I was like, no, I deserve to be respected and should be treated well and like an equal and not just like a dumb girl that just does the girly jobs. And I really urge you to do the same. And I know that I use that line on you so many times, but you go to work, you deserve to feel respected. And if you don't, like, communicate that. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've definitely had moments where I've had outside things happening in my life and then being a bit rude at work. And that's like my worst nightmare, is like making somebody feel bad is just like, that makes me feel physically sick. And when I think about moments where I have made people feel bad, like, I've always made the effort to go back and be like, hey, I was a brat and I'm really sorry if I upset you, because that's not how anybody should feel at work. And that's on me. It's not on you. And I hope that we can like move forward together. And I've never had that in this case whatsoever. In fact, it was just felt like it was worse. But it is really important to communicate in a workplace. And also really important to stand up when it counts. Like, pick your battles, but stand up when it counts. Because you go in there, you spend more time there than you do anywhere else. You see your workmates more than you see your partner if you have one. So go in, get the respect that you deserve, lead with kindness, and don't let yourself fall into the trap of just being a douchebag. Because cream always rises. That's what I like to say. The cream always rises, no matter what workplace you're in. And eventually, the mean people, they get found out. It always happens. So value yourself, because if you don't value yourself, nobody else will, okay? And don't let people walk all over you, because if you let them, they will again and again and again until you put that boundary in. And it's scary putting in that boundary, trust me. But once you do it once, you've ripped the Band-Aid off, you'll be able to do it more than once. So you can do this, okay? I believe in you. Message me about it if you want, and I'll give you a further pep talk. There you go. That's my little finger snap for you. Now, while we're talking about work-related things, we should talk about contracts. Which seems like a weird transition. So the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing, it's still going on. It's just never ending. Like, I just wish that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni would just sit down and be like, fuck, look, I just don't like you and I don't like you. Let's never work together again. Bing, bang, boom, we're done. But they are just spending all their expensive money on lawyers. And there has now been a contract of Blake Lively's To Do It Ends With Us revealed. And this was previously sealed by the courts. And people are going off being like, who the fuck does she think she is, trying to get these bonuses written into her contract? A good businesswoman. That's who she thinks she is. Because in her contract, she got a $100,000 bonus if she was nominated for an Oscar. And if she was nominated for an Oscar and then won, she'd get a $200,000 bonus. Now, people were like, it's absurd. It's so greedy. Well, not really, because she's gone out there and she's made the movie. She's promoted the movie. And then once it's out and then she wins this big award, there's going to be another spike in the movie. And she will not be the only actor that does this. So many actors would do this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the contract like it's a normal thing. Brad Pitt would absolutely have a clause like this. And if he had that, people would be like, smart business, Brad. But because it's Blake Lively, people just have to jump on the hate train straight away. I say all power to you, because you are what you negotiate. And if that's what you negotiated, then that's what you deserve and that's what you get. And the bosses aren't going to say yes if they don't think you deserve it. So I think it's so easy to hate Blake Lively at the moment, but sometimes just take a step back and be like, fair game, babe. Fair game. Wish I'd been able to do that if I was a very famous actor. I wish I could do something like that just as a normal person in my job, like if you're selling something. So whatever, Blake Lively. Get out there, do you, girl. Our special mentions this week are just little stories that I wanted to make sure that you heard about, because I loved these stories, especially one about Cardi B. I could honestly make Cardi B Person of the Week every week on A Little Bit Extra, because she is just so entertaining, but she's always surprising you. Like, people always think that Cardi B is just like, no, she's actually fiercely intelligent and she's very, very clever. And she is also a really kind person. So she was out and she had like an interaction with a single mother, and it was, you know, a little bit of an awkward situation, and the mum was feeling bad, and Cardi B came back and did something pretty amazing. Have a listen to this. It was written on Instagram by a woman named Shaniqua Jenkins, 39. I am a single mum, and I will never forget when I met Cardi B back in 2018 while working at a hotel that she was staying at. I didn't have anyone to watch my toddler that day, and so I brought her to work and had her quietly hiding behind the desk. I was terrified that I might get in trouble because Cardi B noticed her and I would lose my job. Instead, she smiled so much, with so much warmth, and told me that she used to hide at her mum's job too when she was younger. Later, when she checked out, she came back with colouring books, crayons, snacks and toys for my daughter to play with while we were at work. And she left me a huge tip. Cardi B spoke life into me as woman and as a mother that day. Her compassion and her understanding reminded me that even in hard times, we'll be seen, valued and capable of rising above. So she truly has a beautiful heart. Oh my God! Get me right in the uterus, why don't you? I don't want to cry on the podcast, but honestly, that is just like so nice. And it's crazy, like just one random act of kindness, and that's the thing that she remembers. And it just goes to show, because like she's going to go and tell so many people that story, but I don't think that's why Cardi B did it. Cardi B did it because she's a good person, and that was just so heartwarming, especially when I'm about to go into a non-heartwarming story. So I'm glad that I've warmed up your heart, got it nice and defrosted, and now I'm going to freeze it again. Because if you watch the TV show Yellowstone, Kevin Costner, he's the main guy, he plays John Dutton, and he was doing a scene. He's like an executive producer on Yellowstone, but he's not like a director, so he's not actually supposed to be directing scenes and stuff like that. So the scene starts, Kevin Costner as John Dutton, Wes Bentley as his son Jamie, and Kevin wants to direct the scene. He wants to change what is supposed to be happening. And Wes Bentley's like, no, you are not the director. This person is the director. I will not be taking notes from you. I will be taking notes from the director. And then Kevin Costner got a little pissed off about this. And so he's like nose to nose with Wes Bentley. And they're like pushing and shoving, and allegedly there was a hook thrown or something, and they had to be broken up by the actress that plays Beth Dutton on the show, and she comes over, she's crying, and they had to shut the set down for the day because that was like one of the last shots of the day, and they're like, this is not going to get done like this, we need to talk this out, like separate. And I love that this sort of stuff is being exposed, because there is a few things about Kevin Costner on Yellowstone which is a little bit problematic. Allegedly. There was that incident, and also the incident that motherfucker cannot cry. Have you noticed this? When you're watching Yellowstone, that Kevin Costner can't cry. Whenever he's doing a cry scene, I'll act one out for you. So I'm in the stables, right? I've got my cowboy hat on. I'm kind of leaning against the wall. I've just found out someone's died or got hurt or something. I'm holding onto my hat. I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. And just as my tears are about to roll, I move my head and put it down, covered by my hat. And I then pretend to keep crying. But you can't see my eyes, so you don't know that I can't produce tears. Then, another time in the series, he's looking straight down the camera, and he does it again. He's like, Beth, what have I done? Tears are about to drop. No, they don't, because I'm going to put my head down so that you can't see. Or my other personal favourite is when he's about to cry, but he grabs his hat instead, puts his back to the camera and goes, God damn it! And then walks off crying. But we can't see his face when he's crying. You know why? Kevin Costner can't cry. I don't think he can cry. And don't get in my comment sections and be like, he's had his tear ducts removed or something like that. Because if that is the case, then I'm correct. He can't cry. Also, if you want to send me a video of him on Yellowstone where you actually see a tear coming out of his eye, not just an aftermath where a makeup artist has come and squirted some Clear Eyes on, I will hang my hat and I'll apologize to you in the next podcast. But I need to hear it. I need to see it, because where I'm standing, Kevin Costner can't cry. Prove me wrong. Now, tomorrow morning, before this podcast comes out, Taylor Swift will have made an announcement. So I thought, I could ignore this completely so it's not out of date, or I could put my predictions in. So these are my predictions, and we will find out if I get to say, told you so, like your other annoying friend, and then we'll just like have a little bit of fun with it. So these are my predictions. She's going to announce either an Eras documentary or the thing that played when the album release came out for The Life of a Showgirl in the movie theaters, and they'll be available on Disney+. Or, because I find it very fishy that Charlie XCX is in New York because she was being Sally on SNL for Role Model. She's wearing a Kansas City shirt. Who does Travis play for? The Kansas City Chiefs. Is that an Easter egg? Honestly, I'm so sick of Easter eggs. I don't want to see any more Easter eggs. They're just constant. Can we just have like a chill album release or something with the Easter eggs? There's too many. We've had 7,000 Easter eggs in the last 2 weeks and it's enough. But does this mean that she's going to announce, I'm releasing a documentary and also Charlie and I have worked it out on the remix, and they release a collab together? Maybe, which would kind of piss me off because it means that two women were pitted against each other and had mean things said to them for the last 2 weeks. But it would also back up a TikTok I saw where a friend of a radio station that Taylor Swift had done an interview at, he was talking to his friend and he was like, oh, is there any questions you weren't allowed to ask? And his friend said, we weren't allowed to ask anything about Charlie XCX because they're actually all good. It'll all be revealed soon, but yeah, they're actually all good. And so we don't want to lean into that really at all. And I was like, something's happening here. And the fact that she's turned up wearing a Kansas City t-shirt and Charlie's been in the studio, I've got a feeling it's going to be something to do with Charlie XCX as well. So those are my predictions. I have documented them on this podcast. Boom. Boom. Let's see how we get on with that, eh? Well, thank you so much for watching or listening today. I really do appreciate it. And it's been nice to hang out with you. I haven't seen you for like a whole week. And I miss you. So make sure you join me on Thursday. I can't say who it is, but I'm going to have 2 actors on the show on Thursday who are 2 of the best actors that have ever come out of New Zealand, that have had success outside of New Zealand as well. And I might be more excited about this interview than I was about the 5 interview. So get ready to see me just be a big old musher with these 2 incredible actors. It is honestly a dream lineup. So make sure you join us on Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Oh, also, if you need some help sleeping, you should check out the Moody Functional Blend, which you have in the afternoon and at nighttime. And it's the hot chocolate or the milk chocolate. It is so great. It's got reishi mushrooms in it. It's got ashwagandha. It's got zinc, magnesium. It tastes beautiful because it's got cacao in it. And it's actually a really pleasant drink and a nice drink to have before bed. But the benefits that you get from it of like cravings and calmness and de-stressing and having a good restful sleep, it's a game changer. So go and check it out on moodyblends.com. Thank you for being here. Peace out.